Let's get started on a Thanksgiving Day. John Hardoon, Chad Summers, thank you very much for doing this on Thanksgiving.
Thank you for having us on Thanksgiving.
Yes, and thanks to the viewers out there for joining us for this is a transition show. So this is going to be the last show that we are going to produce where we have a free show, a free race that we are going to have just a couple seconds. And then we're going to have two races for our Patreon customers only. And then that is it. Our new model begins in December, which means every race that we handicap will be free to everybody on YouTube. That's why it's important to check out the thanks icon on the bottom of the screen. Please use that to donate money to the channel. The more money you help to donate to the channel, the easier it'll be for us to continue to produce these shows and to do even more really cool programming for the thoroughbred industry. And we're excited about that. So, again, that starts next week. Once we turn the calendar into December, we'll have an average of 2 races per week, and those will both be free. All right, so we have 3 races, 2 at Aqueduct. Those will be on our Patreon page for our final Patreon members that will be able to say, ha, I got these races and you don't. But Churchill has a pretty big race today. That's the one that we're going to talk about. Before we do that, any closing remarks from last week? Chad?
No, last week seems like a long time ago. Yeah,
last week was about 10,000 races ago. So
I can tell you that I'm a good handicapper and a terrible picker.
I'm making the picks, yes.
My top pick won at 5.
So for now on, just a tip for everybody. Anytime Chad says my top pick is, and if he doesn't like put money on it, make sure you put money on Chad's top pick. So, but they get it. They get it, Chad. So, yeah, that's all that matters. By the way, one of our patrons, Caesar, actually called you out for the pick on Swift Tap.
There you go.
There you go. Let's hear it for Caesar.
Caesar, because what was that, 12-1 shot last week?
All hail Caesar.
12-1, bet down to 5-1 or so.
Oh, because I even wrote it down. So it started at 6-1 when we did the show on the morning line. When I started watching the odds, it was 12-1, and then I guess it made it way all the way down back.
All the late Chad money came in. Yeah.
And that's, by the way, with sheet lines of 20 and 28 in the last 2 races, a 6th place and a 7th place finish. 1 win in the career and no wins out of 14 on a fast dirt track. Chad picked the winner, and hopefully I'm sure Caesar and hopefully everyone else out there took advantage. Okay, so that was last week. Now let's talk about the race this week that's going to begin the show. That's Churchill Downs. So this is for all our viewers out there, and this is going to be coming up today. So post time is about 5:56. We're recording the show.
Friday.
What's that?
Race is Friday.
Oh, Friday. Okay, good. Why do I? Yeah, I was thinking we were doing this today for the show. Good. Thanks, Chad.
Too much turkey already.
Actually, no turkey. Really? That's a problem. Okay. So anyway, so you have over 24 hours. Relax. So that's tomorrow, Friday, 5:56, a mile and an eighth, called the Clark Handicap. It's a grade 1 purse, $750 for 3-year-olds and up. We start with John's top pick, Proxy, a 7-2 shot. Rosario on board, back-to-back. Finished 3rd with him on board last time out in the Stephen Foster. That was way back in July. He ran a 9. Also ran a 6 in March and a 7 in February. Not many horses can say that in this race. Is that why you're taking Proxy, John?
Well, he ran the 7 off the layoff. The truth of the matter is everybody in this race, with the exception of the 6 horses, all within a couple of points of each other. I just like Rosario from the rail for Stidham. I want to try to beat Rich Strike, and that's certainly possible here. So I went with this horse breaking from the inside. I didn't get fancy. I didn't make numbers. I'm making a win bet on number 1, Proxy.
I mean, is there no concern? I know, look, obviously he ran very well off the layoff last year, similar layoff, 7-month layoff. Is there any concern at all? I mean, this is coming back in a grade 1, albeit it's not a true grade 1 caliber field. Any concern at all, Jonathan, about the, coming back into a stake race like this?
Yeah, a lot of concern. However, if Mike Stidham is, has enough confidence to run him in this spot, he could have run him anywhere. He picked this spot. Obviously, he feels he's doing well. Yeah. Not only that, the last 2 races are Churchill, so why not?
Look, he finished well in the Stephen Foster last time after trailing hopelessly early on in the race. I just prefer others. I don't think there's enough pace in here early on to set it up for his late kick.
Okay.
The 2 is a 20-1 shot, long shot trademark, coming off his best race in 8. So we're going to get a predictable bounce here, John.
Well, it looks like it. Off of 13, he bounced to a 22. Off of 15, he bounced to an 18. What's he supposed to do off of an 8?
Bounce.
His race last time was, a great ride by Martin Garcia. Just a wonderful race. That was an allowance race. He's 1-for-8 on the year. They took advantage of try to sell him last week in the Keeneland sale. He failed to meet his reserve for $450,000. Nobody wanted to buy him. They're going to try and cash in again a week later and run for $750,000 purse while the getting's good. He's a 3-year-old taking on olders. I think he has a lot to gain. He's a horse that we might hear from next year. But I think missing a few days of training going into the sale, that's not what you want to do going into a grade 1.
All right, next up is the 3, Injunction, a 6-1 shot. And Injunction, if you look at the 5 races at Churchill, very steady, ranging between 8 and 12 as far as the sheet numbers, 2 8s, 2 10s, and a 12. Also, the distance, once that was at Churchill, mile and an eighth, ran a 10. So that's all pretty good. 6-1, that's even better. I don't want to see the odds drop too further than that, John.
It's another horse that has a shot in an evenly matched race.
Look, he's breezing really, really well for this race. I love the fact that they skipped the Breeders' Cup Mile. They realized he was in over his head in the Breeders' Cup Mile. They run fresh here at a track that he loves at Churchill Downs. He won on Clark Day last year, won an allowance race. He's working like an absolute bear right now at both Keeneland and Churchill trackside where he is right now. Joel Rosario actually breezed him about a month ago at a 59 breeze at Keeneland. That was just, lights out. But is there enough pace in this race early on? Again, he'll be close enough, but I just don't see any pace in this race besides the outside horse. And I think that's going to really just kind of affect many of the horses in this field.
Next up is the 4, and that is Rich Strike, the Kentucky Derby winner, who has failed to win since the Derby. But he has gotten a little bit faster, John. He's got a 7 and a 9 in 2 of his last 3 races. He's the heavy 2-1 favorite.
Yeah, listen, if he runs the 7, he'll win. But off the 9, I think he's more likely not to run the 7. I think he has a shot to go backwards, and he's a favorite. So if he's a short price and he's questionable, why do I need him?
Look, we've been pretty spot on about him since the Derby where we didn't mention him at all. But we thought he was going to run a big race in the Lucas Classic. He did. We thought enough in the Classic. He did. But he was a distant 4th. And look, I understand that Flightline was miles ahead of everybody else, but he was miles behind Olympiad in 2nd. He's becoming some kind of a folk hero, and everyone's saying he should be 3-year-old if he wins the Clark. He's won one. He's won 1 race. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We know he likes the track, but the one thing with this horse is he runs better when he's fresher. He has more time between his races. That was the whole thing. They said that's why he won the Derby. He hadn't run since the race at Turfway and was coming in very fresh. He has no work since the Breeders' Cup Classic. I would have liked to see some work to make sure he's in top form. They're busy selling photo opportunities tomorrow morning, actually, before the race, which makes no sense at all. They're trying to cash in whatever it is, $50 for people to get a picture with them the day of the race. I think that's a really, really bad idea. It's really tacky. And it's not about, oh, well, they're the little guy and the little guy should get paid. It's don't do it the day of the race. Just really, really bad form. I'm very much against Rich Strike in this race.
Okay, next up is Folsom, a 6-1 shot. And Folsom, in his last 3 races at Churchill Downs, the sheet numbers are nice, 9, 11, 8. Matter of fact, this horse has 4 grade 3 wins since last May. What about Folsom, John?
Well, he never came back to that 8 that he ran 4 starts back. The last race certainly should have been better than the 12, and the 9 2 starts back could have been the 8. So for that reason, I'm against him. You are getting 6-1 though, and then listen, it's Brad Cox. You can never go wrong using Cox at 6-1. But that being said, I'm passing.
He was second best last time behind West Willpower in the Fayette. I just don't, like I said before, I don't think there's enough early speed. But he's run well this year, and 6-1 against this field. Look, not for anything, and I'm not going to pick him on top here, but Folsom should not be a longer shot strike. I'm sorry. Folsom should be favored ahead of Rich Strike. I don't understand the 2-1 on Rich Strike. I don't understand the 6-1 on Folsom.
All right.
You're right about that, Chad.
The 6.
By the way, Rich Strike is charging $50 to take a picture with him.
Exactly what the number is, but it was all over Twitter.
Chad, I think we can get a picture at your barn with champagne poetry for $20.
We're paying that. We're paying.
The 6 is Last Samurai, a 10-1 shot. D-Win Lucas has got a horse in this race.
Yeah.
Since Lucas has taken over, the horse has only got 1 in the single digits. That's a 9. He's got 2 12s and a 15.
I don't like this horse. I mean, listen, he took him from Dallas Stewart. Dallas Stewart was a branch off the Lucas tree. He learned under Lucas, and I don't know. I don't like this horse. Stewart did better with him than Lucas's.
The only thing I'll say about this, look, he was third best in the Fayette last time. He was never going to catch Folsom or West Willpower. I don't think he's better than that. But Tyler Gaffleon might be the hottest jockey in the country right now, and he's riding Churchill Downs as well as anyone. So if you're going to try and throw him in, if you're going to try and justify this, you want to make a big score on your before you go for Black Friday. You can just have confidence in Tyler Gaffleon, but he's very much up against it in this spot.
The 7 is the next in line as far as the favorite. West Willpower at 5-2. And we've got an 8 last time out. The horse actually ran a bunch of 8s in 2021 and 2020. First time back to an 8 this year, John. 5-2. That's the problem.
No, the problem is he's now fold. I understand he ran the 8 last time out. Last year he put 8s together. It took him a while to get back to the 8. So at 5-2, breaking from an outside box, I would I like the 1 better.
It would be more of a concern if it was an outside post of 20, but it's an outside post of 7. And the thing is here, look, he's lone speed. There's nobody even close to him. I love the rider switch here to Luis Saez as Rosario and Ron Anderson looked like they committed way too early, thinking that West Willpower wasn't going to run. And I think Luis Saez just is going to walk the dog in front, and I don't think they'll catch him. 10 of his 12 starts, he's finished first or second. He's been lightly raced, obviously has his issues, but when he's right, he's a solid horse, and he deserves this race. Brad Cox won the Clark before doing a similar move, winning the Fayette with Leo Frick. I think he repeats it here with West Willpower.
And West Willpower will be Chad's top pick. John.
Oh, we got to do the place.
John, you're only going with the 1. You're putting all your.
That's it. A 1 bet on the 1.
100 to 1, 100 to win on the 1 for John, and that's proxy. Chad, meanwhile, you're doing 40 to win on the 7.
Hold on, I got to write this down. 41 for
and a $20 exacta box 357.
$20 exacta box. You spent too much money. A $10 box is the most you can get. Sorry.
$10 exacta box, Chad. By the way, just want to remind everybody that one of the bonuses for next week is we're going to start. We've been keeping count like a preseason total, but next week the regular season begins. So we're gonna keep our totals and have some fun with it. So Chad, again, 40 to win on the 7, $10 exacta box 357. I'm gonna go 25 to win on the 3 and the 5, and $25 exacta box 35.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
I better write that down. Hold on.
So that's
25 to win on the 3 and 5. 3 and 5. 25 to win and $25 box. Okay, you're in.
That's it for our free viewers. We will see you guys again next week, and really from now on. So please don't forget about that. Happy Thanksgiving to all our free viewers.